In the instance of 19-year-old Nikolas Cruzs, multiple skipped red flags include leftward a society to upset and a nationality to miracle. If his February 14th slaughter at a Southward Florida top high school could include been stopped. Neighbors were increased concerns on Cruzs as previous as age 9, while he got in a faith-throwing struggle in else little boy. As he became an adolescent, he showed a tendency for abuse in the direction little animals, pronounced passion on guns and cold steel, and though began representing oneself as a high school marksman. Deputy Corps in the Broward Shire Sheriff's Office space were warned to Cruz's behavior times above the year. They include liberated detailed information of multiple telephone call to the Cruzs household, and 2 Deputy Corps are now by domestic inquiry for their processing of his instance. Though the FBI acquired 2 tips on Cruzs and the capacity risk he delivered to schools, but the office never engraved the leads far quite. Cruzs many faces 17 extortion of deliberate assassination for the slaughter and has yet to come a appeal. The person incidents may not include foreshadowed a massive survey. His design of harassing behavior grew above the year. Beggary the issue, why did no one stand up? Emma Gonzalez, one of Cruz's counterparts at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Top High School, told in a speaking recent 1 week how his peers informed his behavior, once again. With he was in medium high school, she told, it was no surprise party to nobody who knew him to listen how he was the marksman. Wrong child. His neighbors explain Cruzs as a uneasy kid whose black behavior clashed in the solar picture of Southward Florida suburb in its homes in tidy rows, edged by hand trees. Lot of Cruz's encounters in police force were induced by Linda, an irritated mom whose foster son was frequently disobedient, irreverent, and occasionally forcible. Police force were down there nearly each some 1 week, Speno told. Sheriff's Office space accounting records Shaw Deputy Corps answered to the Cruzs household on few occasions following the youthful got in fights in his mom or his sibling. In one copy in November 2012, police force answered following Cruzs, later 14, hit his mom in a plasticity tube of a vacuo janitor, onto the detailed information of telephone call to the Cruzs accommodation liberated by the Broward Shire Sheriff's Office space on Friday. L's statement of pet misuse came in November 2014, while a neighbor said police force a Scarlet boy was perhaps survey at chickens in a BB cannon. Deputy Corps found the suspicion was Cruzs, 16, who had an strike gun. The teenager acknowledged to shooting the gun but rejected take shots at any chickens. Linda blocked the gun off, and the proprietor of the chickens chose not to click extortion. I knew it was him. Cruzs was fair as disobedient at high school as he was at household, excruciating up more than rather than 6 infractions among 2012, while he was in medium high school, via January 19, 2017, soon up he withdrew of Stoneman Douglas, onto Cruz's discipline accounting records of Broward Shire schools. He often florid discipline activity for disobedient behavior, range of the use of profanities to fight some students. Parental conferences, detentions, and suspensions were routine occurrences. Cruz's behavior done the students and teaching staff about him inconvenient, on to Laurel Reith Holland, who learned Cruz's British grade in 2016. He was destructive and disobedient, curse her out for a intermediate examination and creature trapped in a canon-related subject, authorities include not told which it was, in his rucksack. He bring down via the cracks since we don't aware which to make, told Holland, who is now retired and lives in Polar Carolina. As previous as February 2016, Cruzs had begun to do estimated threats on offensive a high school. How monthly the Shire Sheriff's Office space acquired tertiary brush data of a neighbor's son who declared Cruzs had talked on survey up a high school on his Instagram, wherever he located pictures of oneself in guns. He was 17. A vice eventually established Cruzs had cold steel and a BB cannon, and he sent the data to Stoneman Douglas High School source official. The Vice's processing of the occurrence is now the attention of an domestic sphere inquiry at the Sheriff's Office space. A sensitive age more than concerns on Cruz's psychological public health were grown in September 2016, days following his 18th date of birth. Following a collapse in a friend, Cruzs took to Snapchat to position images of oneself cut both of his weapon, onto a paper of the Florida Division of Family and Families. He as well began reflecting concern in purchase a Canon. The paper of the Florida Division of Family and Families told his struggles in depressive and ADHD hard of hearing, its capacity to manage in the demands of daily lifetime out of the use of medicine. Linda said investigators of the DCF how her son had spelled race slurs and painted a by the Nazi character on his book bag. A DCF paper that outlined Cruzs as a sensitive age due to psychological disease signed how his definitive standard of hazard is cheap since he lived in his mom, was reception psychological public health treat and was visiting high school. A vocational high school marksman, I am departure to be a vocational high school marksman, it told. Two agents of the office's box office space in Mississippi interviewee Benight in Man the following night, but he said them he knew anything else on the commentary or the customer who located it. The data was never shared in regional authorities and down there was no pursue up. On February 14, following Cruzs had been detained for the survey, an FBI broker in the Miami box office space named Benight, and agents of the Mississippi office space attended quickly following. The FBI would after show it close its investigation in the commentary since it could not favorably identification the person over the position. On Friday, the Senate Judicial Board was informed by the FBI and Google, YouTube's parental business, that affirmed how the commentary was, in reality, located by Nikolas Cruzs. I believe I am departure to murder human beings. I schedule on receive the but I requirement more than data on it so if who could offer consultation on how lot I'm conducting and backdrop cheeks, so, happy to God let me aware, he wrote in the header, accompanied by a commentary, I schedule on setting a scale on it for precision. In some posts Cruzs is seen keeping a blade or which appears to be a BB gun in front line of his person, that is occasionally shaded by bandanas, masks and hats. He as well took selfies in the glass, but they were not common. In them, same's tiring camo, flesh armored and tactics vests. One of his posts showed a eviscerated tree frog, enclosed by bloodstream. Cruzs annihilated it, he told, since one had annihilated his hound. His mom's die same boy was stoical. Not a teardrop. Not an feeling, told, recall Cruz's behavior at the facility. I requested him if he was frustrated. He told, I'm frustrated since no came, and no cares on my mom. It was a major period for Cruzs. His law firm say his mom's die reinforced his fight in his depressive and psychological disease. I'm behavior in a bundle of things law. Currently, on November 24, the hand-bathing beach sheriff's office space acquired a urge of Desha's son Fate, who said police force Cruzs might include lie a gun in their behind courtyard. Arms weren't permitted in the household, he told. He's not clear if Deputy Corps carried out a searching of the characteristic, but accounting records of the sheriff's office space Shaw Deputy Corps didn't discover testimony to supporting Fate's complaint. He has put the gun to other heads in the history, and had purchased tons of ammunition, she said police force. The subscriber said the carrier how he got mad and begun stamping walls while Fate came at me and threw me on the land, up he was kicked out of the building. Same item is, I lose my mom a pair days back, so, love, I'm behavior in a bundle of things law currently, he told. A Vice found Cruzs in a regional garden. He told same D irrelevant a image of his deceased mom and got frustrated preliminary to his struggle in Fate. While he was undertaken behind to the Desha household, Cruzs and Fate hugged and Cruzs apologized. The Desha, who told Cruzs had been fighting with the die of his mom, rejected to click extortion. Following a few weeks, Cruzs left word the Desha household and excited in James and Kimberly Sneed, who were aware Cruzs was suppressed next his mom's die. They as well knew on his arms and done him get a gun secure up he excited in recent November to me, the depressive was more than stemmed of loser his mom, not of all the things they told on him creature bullied, or by things how happened in high school, told Kimberly Sneed. In the gun secure, she told, all DB blocked up. It very didn't anxiety me. A high school marksman in the manufacturing yet up November was above, else subscriber was precautionary the sheriff's office space on Cruzs, who by the period was collecting guns and cold steel. Worried he will murder oneself one date, police force accounting records tell, recounting the subscriber's concerns, or believes he could be a high school marksman in the manufacturing. But Cruzs no much longer lived in Park, on to the subscriber, who was of Massachusetts. At the period, he was stay in Pond Coast, so the Browardshire Vice called the subscriber to the hand-bathing beach sheriff's office space, that would include jurisdictional. The Vice's answer to the urge is as well the object of an domestic sphere inquiry by the Browardshire Sheriff's Office space. But it wasn't the recent period who alerted authorities on Cruzs, his arms, and the risk he delivered. Things departure to occur. A female shut to the 19-year-old named an FBI tip link and colored a image of a uneasy youthful man who she believed was departure to blow up. I fair wish to, you aware, get it off my trunk, she told, an instance thing does occur and I do trust things departure to occur. Cruzs had an stockpile of guns and cold steel, she told, and utilized the last to maim little animals love frogs and bird. She recounted one event while a poultry had delivered in a slide window doorway at the Cruzs household and bring down to the land. He driven the poultry in the building, she told. He threw it on his mom's cuisine resist and he begun cut it upwards. She went on to ensure the FBI in customer names for 3 Instagram accounts identity to Cruzs, wherever he located pictures of the animals. In L's position he wrote, I wish to murder human beings. Completely aware of the risk. A slight more than rather than a monthly after, on Valentine's date, Cruzs walked in House 12 on the Stoneman Douglas College campus, stretched the flame alarm signal and began unleashing a stream of gunfire. Browardshire Vice Scott Peterson, the high school's gunman source official, rushed to the west entry of the house but balked at departure within, on to Broward Sheriff Scott Israel. In the cacophony of gunshots and the flame alarm signal howling, Peterson chose not to go following the marksman. He never went to, Israel told. How insight led Peterson to abandon recent 1 week among critique how he should include made more than to halt Cruzs. In a email shipped to Florida government. Haystack Scott on Sunday, Country Representative Draft Hager named for Israel to be remote of his position for his deputy corps' incomprehensible omission. Same Sharif was completely aware of the risk the person this to his society and chose to disregard Hager wrote. Sorrowfully, he was not the just one how neglected it. DCF, Browardshire schools, the FBI and the BSO all had the trimming to put the surprise along, but unsuccessful to talk.